Not the most pleasant of mornings right now. It's pretty cold. I had a very bad sleep. Mostly from just bad lower back pain, I think. I had to put my feet into my wet sandals. And I discovered that my feet are all cut up. You know, kind of like blisters, but cuts from wearing sandals too long on the portages. Despite that these are good sandals, any sandal is gonna cause some blistering and such. At least when you're breaking them in. So now I'm wearing them with little ankle socks. It's a fashion faux pas. So I'm highly embarrassed. But I've got apple strudel and chocolatines. And if the sun comes out today, that would be so great to dry everything out, especially my shoes, hopefully. And then I can lie in the hammock and take a nap, which just sounds so nice right now. Not even thinking about fishing yet. Well, when you wake up cold and tired in the backcountry, there's nothing like making coffee on the fire. I've got these little Nescafe packets that have, I don't know if it's real cream and sugar, whatever it is, it tastes like it. And they're pretty good. This one's original, and then I also have French vanilla. I'll make a couple. They're pretty sweet, but back here I don't really mind. It's 9:45 and there is sunshine. Feels good. It's so much warmer now. Shed a couple of layers. I was even down to one layer for a bit, but then that was too ambitious. I'm trolling. I've reinstated the super rig after its honorable discharge earlier. And any trout will do today. An eater would be wonderful, and a trophy would be just the best thing ever. And then if I get into pike, I'd rather eat lake trout, obviously, it's my favorite, but pike are great too to eat, so either one's gonna do for lunch. I'm at the north end of Bark Lake, where the Mississauga River reconstitutes itself as a watercourse. It runs right through Bark Lake. So there's a swift here, and I'm going to toss my line in here and see if I can get lunch. I'm trying to do it from shore, so if there are any brookies in there, I don't spook them by taking the canoe over them. I'm gonna run down the Swift to see if I can get a lunch fish, because I didn't get one fishing from shore. Got my good camera out, so I better not botch this. Looks easy. Yeah, no obstructions or rocks or anything. It's an easy Swift. Okay, time for some fishing. Surprisingly no fish, but really beautiful spot. That's the Mississauga River behind me. And the Swift here, and then the Bark Lake after that. And just looking down that corridor there, I know I'm gonna come back here to do this. I'm gonna paddle the Mississauga someday. I already wanted to because I've driven past parts of it and it looks absolutely stunning. And to connect that with Bark Lake, that would be a really sweet trip. Maybe a spring trip, and then in Bark Lake you could try and go for some big pike and big trout in the shallows. That'd be a blast. At times like these, my sense of wanderlust is trying to grab the steering wheel and take me kilometers down that way into lands unknown. And I have to rely on my brain at these times to, you know, keep a firm grasp on the steering wheel because I don't want to make today a long day. Still recovering from yesterday, and I've already paddled quite a bit today. But yeah, as long as I am breathing and physically able, I'm going back there someday. That's a promise to myself. This might be my favorite site on Bark Lake that I've seen so far. Great water access there. Good jumping rock here and swimming. Drops off pretty quickly. And it's just a nice, small, cozy site. Not an amazing tent pad here, but otherwise, definitely a nice site. I thought that was a motorboat coming around the corner. There's a little fly-in lodge there. Big fish on. The rod absolutely doubled back on this guy. Oh boy. This is huge. This is huge. It's got to be a lake trout because yeah, it's a lake trout. Oh man, it's big. I just couldn't see it. Like I got a little look at it, just like a little reflection off the sun. Oh my. Wow, I thought I snagged. The rod absolutely crushed backwards. Oh man. Can't lose this. This is the most important fish of the trip, maybe this summer. Oh my. Oh man, my heart can't take this. Oh, no. Oh boy. I am genuinely terrified to lose this fish. Oh, my wrist is killing from paddling so much yesterday. There's not a lot of strength in it. No. Oh, I thought I felt the weight fall off there for a second. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely lake trout. Spat bubbles when it got close to the boat. And pike don't fight like this. It's close. Oh no. Oh, it is a pike. It's a monster. It is a pike. It's absolutely huge. I was thinking this section of the lake wasn't deep enough for lake trout. Oh my goodness. This is the hardest fighting pike ever. This is probably the biggest pike I've ever caught. If I catch it. Oh god. please, please. And now that it's pike, I have to be worried about teeth. Oh my. Oh no. No. No, it's not well hooked. It's not well hooked. Oh no. It looks like it's gonna thrash in the air. It is. I'm gonna lose it if it does it. Oh man, it's right over here. Oh, it's huge. Please come in. I don't want to exhaust it either. I'm trying to get it in, but it's huge. Okay, here's a chance. Yes! Yes! Okay, it's not my biggest pike. I was wrong, but it is. It might be the heaviest. It's thick. Okay, I'm gonna get it unbuttoned here. Wow, I thought my battery just died there, but I wasn't recording and it went to sleep. I thought it was recording. Anyway, I was just saying that this fish is 15 pounds. Oh my, yes. Yes, what a giant. Oh. Keep her in the net, keep her head in the water. That's a girl. The big ones like this are female. Oh, wow. Where's my scale? Where's my scale? Here it is. Okay. Set to 0. Oh! Oh. That is 18 pounds minus a bit for the net. That's my biggest pike by weight. Wow. Oh, thank you. I need to let it go, but wow. That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna let her go. All right, she's in the water. Gills are flapping. Should just be a matter of time. Oh, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful creature. Face her into the direction of the water. Point her down. Might help. Generally try not to do too much. Sometimes people over revive, and that's not good. I want water to flow through their mouth and then into their gills. There we go. Just like that. There we go. Woohoo! What did I say at the start of this trip? I've been due for a trophy. Oh, I didn't get a length on it. That was silly. It was low 40s though. Maybe 41, 42. And the heaviest pike of my life. Wow. Cloud 9. I'm covered in pike slime. And the boat is too. And I couldn't care less. It's wonderful. I'm pleased to be covered in slime right now. Even my arm kind of dripped down my arm. I'm gonna smell it later to remember this moment. That fish was caught on that spoon I've been trolling most of the trip. 2 ounces of lead on the 3-way swivel. And there it is. The lure that I will remember fondly for a while. anchored here around where I caught that pike, near where the Mississauga enters Bark Lake, and I'm casting a lure for the first time. It's called like the Storm, made by Storm. It's called the 360 or something like that. I don't know, but it is a really nicely designed bait. It's even got a small rattle in there, and just great size, real sharp hook, nice wobbly paddle tail. I'm excited to try this one out. It's 4:15 and that pike is still the only fish I've had all day, which I absolutely can't complain about, but I just want one eater lake trout or even an eater pike right now, and I can't get a bite. That's the thing about these huge lakes. They have the ability to produce giants, but you can easily be in the wrong place, and then numbers aren't going to be in your future. Still no luck with lake trout, so I'm moving off the deep basin, and I'm just going to focus on the shoreline and get some pike, hopefully. The wind has been blowing from a generally westerly direction, maybe southwest, sometimes northwest, but almost completely west for the last week. So fishing logic would say that I should be focusing on the east shoreline, where the building blocks of the aquatic food chain are getting pushed, and then everything else follows it there. So I should try that. I haven't. I've disregarded that for the last week because I've been trout fishing and I've been going for the deep basins regardless of whether they're east or not. But now that I'm pike fishing and shore fishing, I'll try and focus on the east side here. I'm currently fishing a channel right between my island, or the island that I'm camped on, and the mainland. And I find channels are usually a pretty good place to find all kinds of fish, and certainly pike. And I'm throwing this paddle tail on a Freedom jig head, which I think is 1/2 ounce. And I've known that to be a pretty good pike lure. Reeling in for the last time today. Still nothing else. No eaters. No bites, no follows. But I've got the hammock set up waiting for me, so I'm going to make some dinner and then watch the sunset in the hammock, so it's all good. Dinner's done, dishes are done. Some nice driftwood is processed for a bonfire tonight because it doesn't get any clearer than this, so I'm going to stay up for some stargazing. And my shoes are dry from yesterday, which is so fantastic. Such a good feeling to have these on again. Everything else is just getting bone dry. Not that it's really wet, but just getting everything super dry to pack up tomorrow. And now that everything's done, it's hammock time. I just love this hammock. There's nothing like lying here when you're really poached. It's even got this pocket here, which the whole tent or the whole hammock bundles up inside of it, and it doubles as a scotch holder, which I think was the intended purpose of the manufacturer. We'll never know for sure. Cheers. Oh, that was a big sip. So Gray Owl had a camp on this lake when he was alive, and he's a very interesting person, or he was. He was born in England in 1888, I think, in the 1880s, And long story short, he emigrated from England to Canada as a young adult, became affiliated with Indigenous Canadians, and learned how to trap with them. Eventually he married this Indigenous woman, and they were out together, and he was doing some trapping, and he captured a mother beaver, and his wife begged him to let her go because she was a conservationist. And he said he couldn't because he needed the money for the pelt, which at the time was valuable. And as they were leaving, they could hear the baby beaver kits crying, which apparently sounds a lot like human baby cries. And that's pretty gut-wrenching. So the next day, after taking the mother beaver, they came back and they took the two beaver kits and adopted them and raised them for a long time. I'm not sure how long, but they brought them over to Saskatchewan to find a good habitat for them in I think Prince Albert National Park, and they stayed there eventually and created a home called Beaver Lodge, where he had his most famous cabin. I didn't know he had a cabin here until I saw it on the map, but the Beaver Lodge of the beavers, like a real beaver lodge, was incorporated into his cabin, which was called Beaver Lodge, which is pretty cool. I think he coined the phrase, nature does not belong to us, we belong to it, which is one of my absolute favorite sayings. It's just, it captures something so true, so succinctly. So it's a really good saying. And he wrote some books about conservation. In the end, he became a conservationist after that moment, so the story goes, and did some public speaking. So he left a good mark on the world in terms of his conservation efforts. However, he wasn't a good man or person. He was a drunk, and even appeared in public drunk at functions and business meetings. He became a public figure, and he would be drunk sometimes. And he was not only a public figure for conservation for Canada, but internationally as well. I think especially England, but also the US and probably elsewhere. Not to mention, aside from the alcoholism, he married 4 times, and I don't think he ever divorced any of them, so he just he abandoned at least his first wife. And then his other wives, I'm guessing he abandoned them too, but yeah, that's not a good thing to do. Anyway, I think he still had a good impact on planet Earth, so I guess all can be forgiven to some extent on that basis. He left the world a better place than he got it, and I think that's a great policy to live by in general. Even for campsites, just leave them a little better than you found it. If you go into a public washroom, you can leave it a little better than you found it. Where you work and where you live, leave it a little better than you found it. You don't have to do a lot, but if everyone just makes things a little bit better, then collectively we have a society. Oh, I forgot a huge part of the story. Grey Owl became Grey Owl by pretending to be Indigenous, and his real name was Archie Bellany. That was his given name in England. And after doing some trapping with the Indigenous people that he did with, he pretended to be one of them, and that was what really helped spur his career as a conservationist. He got more credibility for that, and he was a complete fraud. So one more reason to question his moral character, but still a good conservationist. It's okay. This is what happens when you have a big swig of scotch by accident. You forget the most important part of a story. Sun is dropping like a rock over there, and so is the temperature. I went from 1 layer to now 4 layers, and I'm barely warm enough. So it's going to be a chilly night. And of course it's like glass right now, after battling a stiff wind, a stiff breeze at least all day. And there are some fish breaching the surface. It's so calm it's easy to hear them and see them. But that's all to be expected. It is the evening. Anyway, wonderful being in the hammock right now.